Game Master.
Hello, Game Master.
Hi.
I am Jazza.
I'm Jen.
I'm Murray.
I'm Elle.
And in last week's episode, the party came up a little short. Or should I say, one of their arms did.
What a way to start. Thanks for
Yeah.
Maybe you
seen the
missed
episode.
last week's episode. So last week, who does our usual recaps? It's Mr. Note Taker.
Shall
I
I-
can't wait to hear from the Note
You
Master.
better not have done
Alright,
any
alright.
inappropriate
The page
speeches
master.
or anything.
Here's what I got.
swear.
Toastmaster General?
No,
Here's what I
that's
got.
my joke.
Lorenzo, Leone, and Arvin find themselves separated from Bianca by giant, strange cogs. We fire a rope and try to jam the giant mechanism, but only slow it. Leone enters and falls into the gears and is trapped with Bianca. They try to work their way out, but in their attempt to escape, Leone slips. Bianca throws herself in to save her, but loses her left arm? What the fuck? We make it out near Misandria, which is certain to have physicians, which we need because Bianca is dying.
Was
Bianca
that,
is dying.
was that
Yeah. Actually
Lorenzo
dying.
in character almost
Yeah.
swearing? Crazy.
Yeah.
Not even the privacy zone
Can-
journal.
can you-
My notes are a bit more unemotional. Bianca has been disarmed. Next turn is Misandria. Does it?
Good points are good.
Hey, if it gets the job done,
Hi.
can't complain.
Miss
Did
Hand. Free.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Jazza, did Lorenzo seriously just go, what the flip?
Pretty much.
That's amazing.
That was his
just like
canon
that
reaction.
that elevator meme guy.
Oh my god, did I? What the flip?
What the flip?
I really
That is
says,
so
did
fetch.
we level up?
No.
I think I leveled down.
I think
Yeah.
you all got one experience, didn't you? Yeah, you got an experience
Yeah,
at
we
the end of the session.
Yay!
Does that mean?
No, you've already marked it down because we'd said this last
3.
time.
Oh.
Yeah. And
What
then
are-
that's
what
when
are
we
we at?
discovered Jazza had just been adding extra.
Wait.
This is the wrong shit.
Yeah,
So
we
what on
good.
earth is that?
Don't get
Okay.
too excited for your experience. You'll need it to regrow your arm.
I do have a
I'm
question.
always excited.
We're
for my
3 points
experience.
in level 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Hi.
Now that Elle has lost her hand,
Bianca. Thank you.
sorry, Bianca, not Elle.
Yeah,
Yes,
Al,
true.
can we
I would
confirm you
like
have
to
2
keep-
hands?
Yeah, Elle has lost her marbles.
Al
Let's keep it
confirmed for
straight.
2 hands. Yep.
When you create your character at the start, you can take like a bad feat, right? But I can't remember what it was called.
Sure.
She's bad hands.
Disabling feet.
Yeah. So then, does she get a disabling feat then, or is it just
Probably. There will
Okay,
be
cool.
penalties for having one hand missing.
Almost correctly named.
However, at this stage, we're not worrying about that because we first need to make sure she lives.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
once she adjusts,
just
yeah.
curious.
There will be a mechanical cost to having a hand missing, but also we'll try and make it not too bad.
I think there's a mental cost.
Yeah, well, that's for you to role play.
Yay.
As we, as the party,
fears?
as the sun lowers, and the party gets their bearings, blinking out into the night.
What are you laughing about?
Sorry.
You're going to die.
Yeah, some people do that.
Coping tool.
That is good. Yeah.
I really said loses a hand, gets a feet. Because like it's disabling.
That is funny.
You are.
Just needed humor.
So how is that literally how we're doing it? Because there's a feat. Is there a feat for?
No, not yet.
Missing.
I have to make something up. You are all in Midsborough, where you started, and you're
In the Pittsburgh.
all sweaty, exhausted, and tired, and one of you unconscious as you emerge from this hovel into the sunset.
Who's injured? Okay, just me. You're both not injured.
No.
Okay.
I'm injured.
Leona
and
has full
dying.
health. Cool.
Sure do.
Why did I throw myself in front of that for you?
I don't know. Why did you?
Because I'm a cavalier.
Acting.
Maybe she felt
Drama.
like she owed you her life because you came to rescue her.
Yeah. It's good.
Hey, you're the
never
one that
know.
went down there to rescue her.
Never know.
Yeah, I know. We've been through this trauma last episode, so we haven't seen us.
At least we can be pretty confident Bianca's part of the party like permanently now because I'm not sure how eager the crown will be.
Don't say that stuff.
Nah,
Dave, take us away.
we're bonded.
I already
Oh,
did.
he took us
I
away.
gave you the setting. I gave you
All
your
right,
environment, and now I'm awaiting
Are
you
we
to.
in
I'll
the
roleplay
town?
death.
You are, as I described at the end of last week, you have exited from what is the basically a grain warehouse that was built on the foundations of an old castle tower from hundreds of years ago. You are still in Midsborough, where you were previously.
Time of day.
Sunset, which will be the fourth time I've said sunset.
Okay.
And
Now-
sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I believe last time I had the knowledge to know that there wasn't really anyone adequate in this town. I might be one of the more apt people for at least making sure that Bianca doesn't die.
You effectively made a roll that means that you're able to keep her stable until you can reach more adequate care facilities.
Yeah, which we know is in Misandria.
Misandria.
And
And
so the best place would probably just get back to our room so we can further stabilize her, just make her lie down,
at least.
lessen the trauma.
Sure.
Before traveling, get back with the party.
Yes.
And do we still have those hats we bought?
The
mine.
one is destroyed. Yes, one was burned up in a crisp. But
Mine
yes,
was
you
destroyed.
But we
It was
have
very
a
temporary flame.
I have a few.
Yes.
Okay.
do. So you
Just checking.
traipse back to the cattleman's trough with Lorenzo limping and carrying Bianca.
Yeah, sure. We can assist as well.
Of-
So it's not like, "Ha,
the injured
this wounded
man
man
to
can carry the wounded woman.
As you begin to walk through town, farmers and people who have had their dinner for the night or are settling in for the evening in their various homes are looking out with quiet surprise and concern, but not immediate aid. They're just sort of like a bit shocked at what they're seeing walking through their town.
This is the town we were in before, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how visible are we in the scheme of things? Does it look like we just started drinking a bit early and sort of like leaning on each other, or is it like very visible that we are?
It's extremely visible that you are covered in filth. You're covered in dirt, soot. You're sweaty,
Blood.
like drenched with sweat, because it's
Blood.
like a Mediterranean climate. So when you're adventuring in a cave with flaming torches and it's like 25 degrees Celsius regularly, you're sweaty, you're gross, you're dirty, you're covered in blood and injuries. Like even those, I think everyone got hit, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
We have the diehard
for-
sheen.
Except
Leone's like
Leone.
pristine.
The chaos.
no,
Squads
Leone's covered in like grit and dirt and old dust from climbing around in
Oil.
shafts. Yeah.
like a chimney sweep.
Yeah.
But very obviously, Bianca has a torn, shredded shirt that's caked with blood and a stump of a hand that is sort of dripping very slowly out.
Dripping noise.
Yeah.
Cue Jazza.
I don't think we have
He doesn't
the-
want
Let's
to do
not-
blood.
I don't
much
think we
say
need
on-
to.
just
Let's.
straight to our
Yeah.
room.
We need to get her seen to immediately.
You enter the tavern. The door slams wide and the room silences as you stumble in. Once again, no one is really forthcoming to do anything about it. They're just like slack-jawed as they watch injured people walk into the tavern.
The bystander effect.
Absolutely the bystander effect.
Right. Take her upstairs. I'm going to get at least a bucket of water for cleaning. We need to sterilize things.
Yeah.
I am going to roll some rolls, and these rolls are going to determine
You would, Mr. DM.
the party, your NPC companions, and their responses.
You
Starting
prefer
with Ilio.
I'm trying to give you space for it.
Then we're going to go
I
to.
can try.
I'm just going to know. This is me setting the mood.
is
I'm basically
you.
rolling like a wisdom resistance check for the characters. And then we will go with Libero. And then we shall go with Celeste. And Horse.
Lady.
No,
Oh.
Horse.
Got it.
Someone might
take a
want
while.
to
What about Snowstorm?
And Lady.
find Ilio and maybe stem the potential trauma.
What about my horse?
You enter the room.
Red ticket. I'm just kidding.
And you are met with people, so they're all sitting around because you had those adjoining rooms with like a living room section inside them, from what I remembered, because you were basically staying in the estate room. Faces all turn towards you with just shock. Like there's no words for it other than just immediate shock followed by immediate panic. Ilio, Celeste, and Lady all
The donkey.
no
the
Lady
person.
Oh, no, lady.
yeah,
Sorry, I
Lady.
meant horse. Yep. Yeah.
All basically just begin to panic in no way that is useful, sputtering words of like, can we help? What can I do? Oh, what happened? Like running around, like trying to grab things, but all basically, Ilio is visibly upset, but actually the one who handles it the worst is Lady, who upon basically trying to help for a few seconds and then seeing Bianca's stump, he just goes white as a sheet and then faints and collapses back into a pile. Celeste
Wait
looks
till Bianca hears about this.
Celeste looks shook and very uncomfortable, and she actually takes to caring for Lady, who like hits the ground. Like seeing she's not really helpful with you guys, she tries to be helpful in a different way. It is only Libero who maintains any composure to this as he walks up and he's like, don't tell me what happened. Just tell me how to help.
Cool. Having seen potentially how my parents would deal with people going through shock, I'm going to sort of like sharply clap my hands and just get everyone's attention and then send people off on chores. You know, we need...
Make a charisma empathy check.
Okay. Empathy.
Why would you need empathy as a stat? Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is. Dealing with emotions.
In episode 36.
Sleeping
Doesn't
power.
matter if you're Murray rolling dice.
Can I?
think
I was
he
going to
should have
ask if I can
advantage.
assist.
Yeah.
And if the answer to that is yes, can he roll one dice?
It's sweeping failure. You should have done it before he rolled.
If he fails, it's a critical sweeping failure.
No, it's 7 dice.
Oh.
So
But with
your
his
intention was to clap your hands, get attention, and then basically
Yeah.
instruct people what to do.
Yeah, so restore like a second of order and then...
No. Because characters shouldn't do what they are good at doing, shouldn't fail to do what they're good at doing. But what happens with the empathy side of it is the mood is just misjudged. You're like, okay, I've seen this happen. I need to take control of the situation. But where there's a dissonance is that your parents were often treating soldiers. So when you clap your hands, you're like, right, you go here and you go here. There is a moment of stunned mullet expression. And then Ilio just breaks down crying. Like he just starts shaking and crying. And then they do sweep them out of the room, but it is clear that the emotional
adding to
state,
the trauma.
you're clear, like you tried to be controlled, but maybe your voice broke in that moment. Maybe you lost that composure in the moment of saying it, that suddenly it escalated from a like, is it, you know, when a kid hurts themselves, daddy, mummy, is everything okay?
Yeah,
your voice said, no, it's not okay.
My reclusive nature sort of distanced my social skills, perhaps.
And it just...
I've seen how it's done, but I didn't do it properly.
Yeah, it just didn't come across properly, and it was just received by sensitive people in a way that was more... told them the situation was far more serious than they were sort of on edge, like, this is bad, but how bad? And that gave them this is the worst thing that's happened. So they are freaking out in another room, but they do get out of the way. But there's crying, blubbering, panicking from in that room. Libero is now the only one in the room with you.
I feel for them, but it helps to have the reasonable people in here. We need to focus.
On the bed. Lay her down at least for now.
And I will lay her down.
What?
She's unconscious, I'm assuming.
Yeah, she's unconscious.
A crush.
What do we do?
Now, this might be a thing that you roll for, but I would like to be able to assist for this on the logic that I grew up around very heavy rocks and things that will have crushed people.
You've seen
Yeah.
too many
Potentially
break my
dreams.
arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Break
You
the
can
other
assist. I mean,
I'm injured, so I'm not going to make
you
the
kind
roll.
of know what
but
to do already. You don't really need to roll. Like your role is to know what to do, right? Like what are we trying to discern here?
We're trying to stabilize her.
Yeah, she's already she's being managed. So that like Arvin's already successfully made that role. I'm not going to make him continue to make it, provided because the role basically says that within that day you can keep them going as long as so Arvin has to be awake, alert, and actively caring for Bianca. For the duration. As soon as his service lapses, so if he needed to sleep, for example, someone else would need to make a roll and pass to maintain that dying status from
Okay, so we're basically maintaining things.
You are currently doing
slips.
your absolute best. Libero pulls back and he says, I have seen one injury similar to this before. But now is not the time.
Very well. Well, I'm going to attend here, best of my ability. Lorenzo, do you need looking at?
Don't worry about me. I will stay by her side to help in any way I can. I will be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll just basically play nurse, make sure everything is fine over the course of the evening and the night.
You're going to try and keep her here tonight, so you will have to roll again the following day.
I think that probably sounds more realistic
traveling
than
in the middle
trying
of
to
the
travel
night.
in the night.
You said it's
It's
a
up to the
day,
party, not me.
a day to the next.
It's a
town.
day's travel, which means
travel.
it's approximately like eight hours travel.
Yeah. Well,
You can't double time it because there's injured
Yeah.
party members,
Yeah.
which precludes double timing.
yeah, I just don't know how far we'd get with one dying, one injured in the night. I mean, we could try. Do we stay here for the night, or do we try and push on immediately, like travel through the night and get to a physician as quickly as possible?
Do you know anything about Misandria, Senor?
I know a little, yes.
We need physicians, capable physicians, to treat her. Have you seen anything in this town while we've been here, or do you know of any in Misandria instead?
In Midsbara, I have seen nothing like this, but it is well known that Count Telemachus has a physician's house, a hospice in Misandria.
I think rest may not be wise if it might lead to infection or to fever. Perhaps we need to just get her where she needs to be as soon as possible. And
Her humors could unbalance at any moment.
right. And I haven't the foggiest about how any of that works. If
Humors
things
are not my
turn-
strong suit.
If things turn south from here, which they are likely to, we are either here in 8 hours or we are somewhere else.
All right, that sounds like a strong incentive to go. Leone, what are your thoughts? Do you feel we should go?
Either that or I can travel onwards and bring back the physician,
No,
if that's helpful.
it will take more time, and they won't know what they're dealing with. It will be a lot to convince someone. Might be very expensive, much more than if we just go there. And if it is a more built-up place, we have some valuables now. We can at least trade for resources for care then and there.
Yes, and I think we should remain together as much as possible, considering what has already happened on the road. All right. I think it's decided we should leave tonight.
I agree.
Try and make it there.
I will calm Ilio and get him ready for the journey.
How does this traveling happen? With snow? What's the horse's name? Snowy?
Snowstorm.
Snowstorm. Bianca can't ride Snowstorm normally. I would be willing to ride and hold her, but I'm not sure if
You
that is-
ride the horse and put Bianca in the handcut. The rest of us can walk.
Okay.
It's a mean name for a cart.
hand card. Yeah, it's one hand less this time. Which you'll know that like Libero has been spending a lot of time. Libero and Elio have spent a lot of time in the cart to keep up pace. So they're kind of saying they won't be in the cart.
Yeah.
It could probably fit Elio.
I could
as
probably
well,
have
couldn't it?
Elio on my lap on the horse.
Yeah.
If it fit Libero and Elio, it would fit Bianca and Elio.
Yeah. But Elio does not want to be in there with you.
Okay, that's fine. I'm stinky.
He's scared of you
Stinky
now.
girl.
No, it's
No,
more
I know,
terrified
I
of
know.
bodily trauma.
That's fair.
So, is that what you do?
Yep.
Yep.
You pack
As
up.
soon as possible.
You ready up.
In a whirl of a flurry of effort. Time is not on
Arvin-
our side.
Fails to have any charismatic draw upon the disheveled group.
Can I try?
However, Libero manages to pull them together, at least enough to follow his calming instructions. There's the respect for the elderly that kind of comes to play. And he's like, for Bianca's sake, come, we must travel together. And within short order, you pack up the room. Everyone's desperate and rushing around, and load up your handcart. Get Horse the donkey. Grab Snowstorm.
The horse.
And get ready
Horse
to
the
go.
donkey, snowstorm the sandstorm.
Can I get from Lorenzo?
Not it. Thank God.
I either want an authority check because you can't do both,
For the horse?
or a coordination check
Okay. I'll
for
go.
horse riding.
I'll go
It's a
coordination.
simple ride on a road, so it's only challenge level 1.
Okay.
2 successes. So you managed to control an unfamiliar horse.
Yeah.
Does that sound okay, horse master?
Yeah. We're going basic walking pace.
Basic walking
Yeah.
pace on a road at night. The
I
trained
rode,
horse.
well
I rode
trained.
like a 17 and a half hand horse in the UK. Biggest horse I've seen in my
Oh,
life.
that's so many
That's
hands.
16
that's so
more than
insensitive
Bianca.
to say.
Freaking huge.
This is going to be my life for the rest of the campaign.
You've been dealt a harsh hand.
So, can I get
Yeah.
everybody to make a check that is in the book?
Oh, including me.
Is it a survival? Is it group? Is it a group check?
Who's got the book? Yes. I'll find it quickly. This is not often we've had to pull this one up, so I'm just double checking.
No, it hasn't. It's current one.
This is the travel one.
Which at this point is probably out of date, but I don't know.
Might be out of date. Exhaustion. No, it's not out of date. It's got exhaustion in it. It's about traveling long distances. So, all of you are going to have counted as burnt the midnight oil,
Yep.
Yeah.
but then twice in a row, basically, because you are not even resting for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So, did anyone burn the midnight oil the night before? I don't think you did. I think you all slept.
Yeah.
So basically, all of you need to make a resistance wisdom check with a challenge level equal to 2, because that's basically triggering it twice, because you're not even burning the midnight oil. You're skipping a full night.
What happens if they fail?
If you fail, you gain a level of exhaustion.
And what does exhaustion do?
That gives you negative 1d6 to your checks.
I got 2.
It should be 2. You only need 2.
I got 2 successes.
It's only to ability checks. It doesn't count in combat because adrenaline exists. So 2.
Yep.
2.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody.
2. Every single person in the party passes their check, spurred on by the sort of communal desire to help Bianca
Let's go.
and get her to her
We
destination.
got you, girl.
However, you all still count your burn the midnight oil count at 2.
Yeah.
So if you continue to, the check gets harder.
That's a cool mechanic.
Yeah,
Just
so
wanna say that.
it's something on my notes is to add a counter onto the character sheet somewhere, low down or whatever, for exhaustion and
yeah.
burning the midnight oil, so you can tick how many times you've done it in a
cool.
row.
I like it.
So after traveling for the majority of the night and making good time, and having left not long after sunset or dinner time, you arrive, or you begin to see the earliest street lanterns and lights and the night watchman's lights in the town of Misandria. But it is still dark. It's not even dawn when you arrive because it's about 8 hours of travel. But so you have a bit less of a view on everything, but moonlight is shining around. You're seeing that the city is nestled into a mountain with a light bit of woodland at its back. It is a picturesque and old city built of beautiful stone with a large white stone wall protecting the inner township, but the town sprawls outside that wall as well. And a keep that you can just make out against the sort of backdrop of moonlight with a flare of decorative. There's a bunch of flags on flag poles and interesting buttresses and things like that. There are plains surrounding it to the south and the east on all sides. And you sort of arrive. There's no outer gate, so your arrival as your cart sort of traipses past peripheral houses, farms, and hamlets, and then it slowly becomes more built up as it gets closer to the city.
Is it still dark?
Still dark. People getting ready, like the early risers who maybe do farm work or milk cows and stuff, sort of starting to move about though.
Arvin, do you think you can find a physician's place for Bianca as soon as possible?
I can certainly try.
In the darkness of this evening, as things are low for the party, you arrive at that inner wall. You walk past a tavern or two. You walk past a stable, a well. You know, it's a fairly built-up city. And you reach that inner wall where, you know, the more established city is. And there is a raised portcullis. In fact, at this time of the morning, there is about the time you arrive, the first sort of crests of pre-dawn start to lighten the day. And a portcullis ahead of you is being raised by a set of guards as it's sort of opening up for the day. A few guards eye you as you come in. I'm assuming that Bianca's in the cart, probably with like blankets and stuff on her.
Yeah,
it's not super obvious how injured you are.
Just look like a dead body now.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, as we pass, I'll approach one of the guards.
I literally went and made a custom guard for the guard.
You're turning his off.
I wasn't touching it.
Guard. Oh, bear with me 1 second.
Bear.
Let's soak in the moodiness of dawn.
Of death.
And the
cool.
purple tabard of an Appley Town guard
Ooh.
stands before you.
It's very expensive.
Remember when I changed the color of the card?
Excuse me, sir. Could you direct me to the physician?
The physician? The hospice, then?
Yes.
Do you have writs of access?
Yes.
Make a deception check.
You're injured, my guy.
And you burnt the midnight oil.
That doesn't do anything. He passed the check.
I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
I'm injured too, so I'm, not making a great effort at being convincing.
Desperation is unbecoming of you, traveller.
Evidently, no, we do not.
I think it's become us quite comfortably.
Is that required to find or reach the clinic?
If you plan on staying there, yes. If you want to go and... Well, they don't accept visitors without a previous inspection by a physician. What's the injury?
A mangled hand.
Have you the purse to pay for it?
Yes.
We endeavor, with my knowledge of how much that might cost. Do we? Like,
Bianca
under
has more
400
money
silver?
than... You've got a bit of money, don't you?
Yeah, but haven't given me any since the campaign started.
We check
I've
Bianca's
given you all
pockets.
money since the camera.
No, but as in, I don't know if she's getting like a cavalier income.
Or an allowance.
I just got what I started with.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And what
Yeah,
we
but
as
you
a
still
party
have
picked.
a few hundred silver,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you'd say yes. You probably do.
Then yes.
All right. Okay. Head up the main road, round the water mill and the town square in the inner town, up to the left, towards the hillside, towards the keep. And we have a string of manors. It's the westmost manor with the large yard and the wall.
Thank you very much, sir.
You remember all that. It's okay.
Okay. You look at me, it's like he's going to quiz me.
Yeah, where do you turn left?
It's important.
Now, which direction and what was the yard made up of?
Thank you very much, sir.
And at no point do
Roll
you
to
sort of
remember.
reveal the injured person.
If we've got
if
directions,
just the description
we
was
need to,
enough.
yeah.
They're not asking for you to. I'm asking you if you go, look, it's the injured person.
I mean, I wouldn't do it.
No, I don't see any reason. I don't want to move or expose the injured party.
You head up the street. Can I get acuity checks as you walk through the gate? They let you pass.
Yeah. In fact, my reasoning is like there's a possibility that they might expedite things if there's an injured cavalier, but also maybe also cause a panic if there's an injured cavalier. Yeah. So that's why I
Or
shoved
require
everything.
more of an explanation than we can actually
Yeah.
get.
Why do you have a wounded cavalier?
Why are you getting around a wounded?
Acuity reflexes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's fun.
Acuity, nothing?
Acuity for you.
Yeah.
Acuity reflexes, but your reflexes are kind of bodgy right now.
I got 1.
It's better than none.
You don't get to roll. You
One.
dine.
I got 3.
As you
Ooh, gent.
journey up the street in the inner town, and the sun is starting to, those first now orange rays of dawn are fully cracking through. You're passing that early morning twilight. You, specifically Leone, is the one to notice stepping out of a townhouse and pulling on the glove with that characteristic stretchy leather, like crackling leather glove sound that I love so much, and flexing a fist. You see the plum colored shirt of a Cavalier of the Crown as they're sort of hitching their day's gear, donning a hat, and begin to walk down the street.
Plum-coloured.
They are wearing a plum colored shirt. You wear a plum colored shirt, do you know?
Yeah, it's right there. It's plum.
Burgundy.
You call that plum? I would
It's
call
a
it burgundy.
mauve. You call that
I think plums are more purple.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's the same color as what you have.
Same color as yours.
Okay, I won't call them
You haven't seen the plums in this world, clearly.
It's a
This
mauve plum.
person is not recognizable at all.
No, you don't. You don't know who they are.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a check you can make to intuit? Like intuition?
What are you trying to intuit?
If it would be a good or bad idea to alert this cavalier of another cavalier's
Their
injured status.
destiny roll.
Or an
You can roll intuition if you'd like. I'm looking at you because you're the one who came up with the idea. So, Lorenzo, roll intuition.
Oh no.
I don't accept I'm injured,
I
so
got
I'm not
2.
going to make
Hey,
rolls at the
2.
table.
He's trying.
2 successes. Judging by the look of the person, they don't seem to be hostile in any way. You can't imagine it would be a bad thing.
They're male or female?
But you don't know they're there, so I guess that doesn't make much sense.
Oh, yeah.
No. I have a feeling.
So,
there's
okay,
something
so Leone,
useful that
make
could-
If
the
anyone
intuition check.
sees a cavalier anywhere, I am planning to speak to them.
I literally just think to myself, if only a cavalier were around.
Yeah, same thing.
And they're
So
over there.
you don't think any harm could come of telling a cavalier?
I just say to the group that well, to these guys at least, it appears that the influence of the crown is definitely here. And I kind of gesture towards this person.
Well, the crown aids the crown.
All right.
Oh,
We might have some explaining, but if it guarantees
Perhaps we should
her being looked at.
decide a story that we can all agree on now. I got nothing.
I just trottle over to this person.
No, wait.
Okay. So Leone,
Stop making reflexive actions. This is a bad decision.
keep going. Keep going.
Well,
Before you go,
the half-truth is fine. We are assisting her in investigating the ruins in a town. And
there was a mechanism. We
it collapsed on her hand. And we have done our best and need to get her to, the right medical care.
Otherwise, she is
Good morning, citizens. Walking past.
Morning.
Good morning.
Sir.
Yeah, ma'am, sir.
Sir.
Sir?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. We are on our way to the hospice for our friend.
This sir looks about the same age as Leone.
Oh!
Yeah. This sir is like
Baby sir!
This sir is like 18 to 19, like maybe even 17. He's wearing that burgundy colored shirt because, as we mentioned, the shirts indicate a level of like rank and seniority as well as the accoutrements. And it's basically like the early rank. Well, you'd be due after your assignment to get a new one.
How do you address a guard? Like, it's not lord or anything.
Well, you sir or my lord would be perfectly. You could assume a cavalier is probably somewhere in nobility. So like a soft my lord or something, or sir would be fine.
Okay,
yeah.
then I'll change to my lord.
Even though he's young and very fresh faced.
That's fine.
Not a Spanish moustache on this fellow. Just clean shaven, very soft round features and with a smile on his face.
Cool. And we would all be sort of aware of this social interaction of
You
referring to them as
Refer
such.
to your betters as my lord or my lady, of course.
If we might grab your assistance with something, my lord, we have a friend and companion of ours who has been injured and needs to be taken to the hospice.
Oh.
And considering your profession as well, I think you might be able to help us get her there faster.
Where is this injured person?
A sort of a gesture to the cart.
A fellow cavalier.
What?
She has been assigned to our guild. And
What brigand struck her down?
It was a mechanism. It has been known to happen in these situations, and we were exploring together under instruction.
It is a long story. Perhaps
Yes.
we should get her.
No, show me.
This way, sir.
He's like standing near you, so you can just pull the.
I'll lead him
This
over.
guy
Yeah.
faints, I swear to God.
I go grab Elio's hand.
Yeah.
And go.
Well, he can. Yeah, he can.
Look at the trees, Elio.
them away.
How pretty
Yeah.
are they?
Okay. He's also like nodding off as well.
Yeah.
So you show some Bianca.
Yeah.
What did you say? Did this?
Some metal and masonry. It grabbed her hand and pulped it.
Surely
Large gears.
not. That such an incident would befall a cavalier of all people.
It wasn't through neglect. It was to save one of our own.
She was abiding by your most noble principles, and it is...
Right. Take her straight to the hospice. You know where it is, yes?
I have been directed, yes.
Would you accompany us and see to it that they pay her proper attention?
I will do one better. My presence at the hospice won't aid much, but I will go to the Count.
Thank you. Anything that could expedite having our friend treated.
And he turns and runs up the road faster than you all can follow. Up towards the keep.
I hope that ends up having been a good decision.
We can only hope. Either way, Bianca will be in better hands soon.
She will certainly have attention upon her, and if it keeps her well, then that is all that matters.
Right. If we can minimize the public attention, that would probably be best. But hopefully this cavalier has a air of discretion around him. Sort of,
As he sprints.
a wobbling jaw in uncertainty there.
So keep running through the streets. Me Lord!
We're not getting there any faster standing around. Let's go.
and you take the cart slowly up the hill as it bounces across cobblestones and muddy, slick streets of an inner Renaissance period town, winding up towards the hill that the keep is on and then pulling across to a bay of manors. It still takes you several minutes to take the journey. And shortly after you arrive at the steel iron spiked gates surround a large yard, an outside yard. And in the yard, you can see benches and some sort of restful activities and tables. But there's also you sort of to catch them, you have to peek through these iron bars where the hedge isn't quite fully grown in, but because it's quite discreet. And yes, it's an older manor, one of the original ones built with the town, and it seems to have been sort of retrofitted. Like it doesn't look domestic anymore. There's a heavier door on the front. There's a sign that says Misandria hospice, and there's not a guard on the door or anything, but there is a torch, like a hanging lantern out the front.
All right. Well, I think we'll just. I guess the gate is still early. It's probably potentially locked. We approach the gate.
Yeah, so you approach an iron gate, and then through that gate you can see a small courtyard. It's quite a large manor, as these are. And yeah, the gate does appear to be locked. But there's a roped bell on the entrance as well.
Cool, that's getting an old hearty yank.
There is a dung 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 as this bell is rung a couple of times. To wait a minute or two, but the door to the entrance of the building, you can see straight through because you can see into the courtyard, then you can see the large wooden door that's reinforced.
I'm going to do a bit of pacing, sort of frantic pacing just in front of it.
The door opens and a comely looking woman in heavy gowned robes sort of like waddle walks out of there with a bit of that determination, unsure as to whether she should be carrying a morning lantern or if it's like has that hesitation. She's got the little lantern in her hands and looks out and is kind of like, oh, it might be early enough, and but she's still carrying it, and she comes out and the daylight is now catching and the place is becoming lit, and she walks out with that waddly urgency.
Yes?
And we require immediate medical attention to our traveling companion. I'm very sorry about the time of day, but we had no choice.
This hospice doesn't run on fumes?
We
will pay.
It's not my decision to make, I'm sorry. Have you got a writ from a physician?
Not yet, but we are having attention brought to it.
We only have limited beds and...
She is a cavalier of the crown.
Well, I don't care if she's the king's daughter. I'm not able to help anyone without a writ.
How do we get a writ immediately? Urgently, we
Do
will
you know
pay.
the count?
Us
I'm just the
personally,
night
no.
maid. I've got my orders.
We are having another cavalier contact the count imminently.
And while you're having this conversation, you can hear you start to hear a little like jangling in the distance that then becomes a heavier like, which then becomes like a clunk 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 as you're like, it's not exactly sneaky as you look down the street and you see a guard in full like arming gear. So he's in pretty much like a munitions curious and outfit, like gilded like a not a knight because they were more ornate and finely crafted armor, but he's wearing full plate armor as he runs up the street. He's got a sword at his waist and carries a shield, and he sort of traipses. And he's clearly also a little bit out of shape, like he's been a guard for a while and hasn't seen much action. And milady, and he hands forth a curled up scroll of parchment. Let them through. Orders from the count. And she opens the gate.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll catch up with you. You go get the lady sorted out.
He like bends over, catches his breath.
I have important stuff to tend to out here.
And you head on in. The carts wheel around into a small courtyard that has a bundle of hay and clearly space for people to put a horse or a donkey or something in there. and the door is opened, and the morning bells begin to ring about this time in the actual house. Like the curtains are being thrown wide. There's one or two maids walking around the inside of the building, throwing curtains wide. There's several wings. There's 3 wings to this building, which was a large manor. But you enter through basically directly into what looks like almost an admissions room. As soon as the cart is stopped, a porter comes out and aids you in carrying Bianca, and she is led towards a bed. About this time, by the time you're all set up and she's on this bed in this room, there's curtains and torches lit because, of course, even though it's daylight, and the shutters are getting thrown wide, it is still inside a stone building. There is this maid who met you was standing with you, and a few people have been running around, and everything's sort of clean and set up. You wait a couple of minutes, and this man walks into the room. He has an apron on, and in his hand, between his fingers, hangs a rolled cigarette, like tobacco, old school tobacco, like cigar. And he sucks from it and into his mouth and leans forward. He's got leather gloves on. He's got a short, well-trimmed beard. So, who is this?
Is a Cavalier of the Crown and our traveling companion.
What is her name?
Bianca.
Bianca, Cavalier. And the injury, show me.
All right, I will. Profo, does he require unwrapped?
Wow, he just says.
I show him the injury.
He also fights.
Sacre bleu.
Sucks from his cigarette.
Who treated this wound?
That would be me, sir.
You know your craft.
And then he bats his little ash. The nursemaid
Like puts it
holds
out on her
forth.
stump.
No, she literally
I was worried about that.
she lifts up a chamber pot and he just ashes into the chamber pot.
Well enough.
Good. We do not. We lack for good physician hands. Where did you learn?
While he's speaking, he is starting to assess and take a look.
I do lack for hands.
We lack good hands.
From my parents, I learned the trade in my home village.
I learned at band then, yes? Unwrap the bandages. Is it productive?
Sorry?
Is it productive? Is it weeping? Still bleeding?
What would Arvin know? Yes or no?
Make a check. Make a knowledge or investigation.
Knowledge?
I'm imagining this guy as like a spy with the hat, and he's like a doctor. But
Two
he's
successes.
Yeah, I do picture like the spy from TF2.
Yeah, it's been nighttime, so it's been hard to tell, but it has been weeping blood and oozing the whole time. So she's getting more and more pallid.
Cool. It has begun to, yes.
We need to.
And as you take it off,
Yes, that is.
everyone's still in the room while this is happening. By the way, except for the NPCs. I'm going to say Libero is with you, but the other 3 are all consoling themselves outside. Takes another long drag, leans in. He's kind of making you do all the physical handling while he just leans back with his hand on his hip and inspects it. And he's like,
This is.
What was that? What was that?
He rolled a
what
1.
did you do?
I rolled a 1.
Don't. Are you friggin' serious? On a D20?
Yeah.
He's a doctor.
He says, so?
Advantage.
No, that's not what the roll was for. He says,
She's already dead. This is not good. Her humors are already out of balance. I can see the biles arising, melting, the sanguine leaving her. See this?
and he stabs a gesture with his lit cigar at her, not touching her, just
I know,
gesturing
still.
with it. and there's like a little puff of ash. That falls
You're making
out.
everyone really anxious just with the.
And you can see with
Well,
your
there's a
medical
one for
knowledge
something.
that like there is already that while there's blood oozing from this injury, content warning for people who are squeamish about injuries. Skip forward a little bit or just fast forward.
I can't do that.
LUCEVERA is going to be a lighthearted romp in fantasy. And
There is clearly like I can't do it. I can't do whimsy unless we're full
Yeah, no,
whimsy. If we
yeah.
want consequences, I have to do some dark.
yeah.
That basically there's like thicken and developing like pusses and green looking like it doesn't look good. There's a lot of bad happening in the wound.
Your recommended treatment.
He quizzes you with that. Your recommended treatment.
There was a quiz.
Well, I think Arvin would basically suggest letting the wound, like letting the pus, cleaning up and trying to salvage any of the areas that have been pulped. He says in a very educational and well-informed manner.
He says,
You're right. Not bad. In a simpler case. But for this, you're right, we must let the wound. And we will,
and he gestures with his hand. He actually like gets ash and just wipes ash further up her arm in a line with his thumb or with his glove thumb to like mark a line. And he's like,
if we cannot control the wound, we will retreat it to here.
That seems prudent.
But I believe we must sear the flesh.
I agree. Did I miss anything else in my analysis?
Perhaps we could introduce some flesh worms to control the decaying flesh.
Sure. This is, of course, your house, but I am at your disposal if you require more hands.
I will take you up on that. You seem learned.
I'm getting really bad kindred flashbacks.
the
worms.
And then he looks at the rest of you and he says,
So, are you helpful or are you hindrance?
I can be helpful.
Yes.
You look like you've been beaten and bludgeoned.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
and he
Not inaccurate.
he pulls out a chest, like he has a wooden chest, and he opens it and all these implements, and he's like,
Begin letting the bile. It is a simple enough procedure. But you, I will look at you.
so he basically gives you like these brass needles to like start extracting like this pus and bile and start like caring for this wound.
Yep. Let's start
And
with that.
the physician looks you over and
You too look barely standing.
I have seen better days, but my concerns are elsewhere right now.
sucks another drag on his cigar.
We have an abundance of beds right now.
If
We had a nasty palla come through here and take a quarter of our incumbents.
if one is available, I would be extremely grateful for it.
Yes. Chandre, take him.
And the lady nods and escorts you away from the group.
Will I be near Bianca?
She will be treated here and then moved to the ward with you.
Okay. I would like to be near her if that is possible.
That is fine. The wing has just been disinfected.
Well, he would say something different, but
The wing has just been purified. Cleansed, yes.
Thank you.
so
Cool.
you were taken away. Leone. What do you?
I stay.
You stay?
Yeah.
Okay. In the meantime, the rest of the group organize a room at a nearby tavern to stay. They take the cart. They go sort all that out. They let you know. Are you still staying with her?
Yeah, hold on.
Make a wisdom resistance check.
as the
Challenge
worms
level
start
3.
eating her eyeballs and crawling out. Bed bugs.
Pass.
You pass.
3.
You pass.
You pass.
The discomfort as the wound is cleaned, it is dressed.
That was a
Then
possible pun.
a iron rod is put into a fireplace nearby, like a furnace fireplace. And then the wound is seared with these like of like the smell of burning
Do
flesh.
I not wake up from that?
You
That would be
Where's the resistance?
you do not wake up from that. Wow. And you do not wake up from it largely because before this happens, a rag is doused in a chemical and wrapped over your face. You, from your perception, begin at this stage to have perception, flitting, hallucinating, nightmarish dreams, like pain, flitting moments. It's horrible, but it's more like a dream you can't wake up from than any real grasp or perception of what's going on. And you have a leather strap pressed between your lips, like your mouth as well, that you're biting on without even knowing about it subconsciously.
Yeah.
The wound is dressed, and then also once that's done, like basically like maggots put on the wound as well, and then it's kind of like left. And then after all of this treatment, Bianca is moved into a wing. And several hours pass. It takes hours of treatment. You don't hear much of anything from anyone.
Cool.
And we now will fast forward and take you to the middle of the day as a trolley of soup is brought around. Lorenzo probably got some fleeting hours of sleep in his bed as he's propped up. And Bianca, with your friends around you, just the group that's assembled here, you awake for the first time to warm LUCEVERAN sunlight flitting through sort of beautiful arched columns that lead to a courtyard. There's flower petals falling from the breeze from trees nearby, and the shutters are wide open and curtains billowing softly in the wind as this sunlight sort of carves into the room, and you, brow drenched with sweat, eyes flit open as the group are all, I would imagine, like, I'm picturing you in one bed, Lorenzo in the bed next to you, and then like Leone and Arvin, where would you be positioned in this?
I'd probably be on standby on like a bench or a chair nearby, perhaps.
Yeah,
Tending to something, cleaning something.
I'd be trying to stay awake.
And you awake, Bianca.
I think like before I've even fully taken in my surroundings and looked around, I spot Arvin and I go, "Where's Leone?
She's around. Where is she?
Bianca?
There she's.
Oh, okay. Everything hurts.
Of course she's okay. You saved her.
Where are we?
We are in the was it
City of Misandria.
Hospice?
You're in a hospice in the city of hospice in the city of Misandria. And almost as if saying that from
I relate
somewhere in the building, you hear that echoed like of someone like chronically ill in a bed.
Yeah, it's Lorenzo. One bed over.
Also, petition to get a like hospital bed.
Yeah, I think we might need one for next week. Yeah.
Also, not just like a nice layout of a room, just like 2D
think-
top down of like the pillow.
I think
So it's
just
just
like-
our character like. "Ah!"
Generic recovery room with like a bed with blood stains would be
good.
really
Yeah, yeah.
useful.
No,
we
we'll
would have
never
used that so
need
many
it again. No, we'll never need it again.
We're done. We're done.
Just
Done
We
with
can
injuries.
learn from this.
Exactly.
I'm so glad to see you awake.
You're in the bed next to me, yeah?
Yeah,
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm just worried about you.
Also, I should probably say that there is a leather, not that you've kind of been aware of this,
Yeah.
you are strapped to the bed.
Okay. I feel like should probably try to move.
And you feel like there's a
Oh.
leather strap holding you to the bed, like a belt.
No moving yet. You need to rest.
At what point do I feel like I'd try to move my arms.
Yeah, you would try and move your arms,
Yeah.
and they are sort of held at your
And-
side
okay.
by this leather strap, and you can feel both your hands.
Love that. Okay, how long has it been?
Few days. Day and a half.
Has it been that long?
Like
Has
12,
it been a day?
12 to 14 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say.
A long 12 to 14 hours.
Less than a day.
You said fast forward a bit, and my went.
Yeah,
my
you,
went.
you went from 6 a.m. to noon, basically.
Okay. All right.
So Misandria?
Correct. And
Do I know anything about Misandria?
You know that's where Snowstorm comes from.
No.
And
Do I
is
know
actually,
it's like a cavalier kind of place?
you know that it is famed for its riding horses and war horses, and this is where the Cavaliers pretty much get all their horses from. Like they're very expensive, fine horses come from here.
I don't think I clock it. I'm just like, Misandria.
And
I always
as
wanted
your
to go
consciousness
there.
is coming into the fore, this like pulsing pain is becoming more and more relevant. Like it starts in your head, and then it's your body, and then it begins to concentrate to your arm that just gets like worse and worse.
I'm going to try and move my arms again. I'm assuming I can't.
Perhaps.
You could wiggle it out. It's like a single leather belt across your chest.
Okay, wiggling.
One arm wiggles out a lot easier than the other.
Have they amputated?
It's been pre-amputated by a giant gear. They haven't taken any further off.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
a backup plan. There is still some charcoal smeared on the arm,
Yeah.
but it's all bandaged now. And there's a little
So-
wiggling sensation at the tip of your limb as well.
So, trigger warning. How much is there? Like, is
Her arm
hand's gone, or-
ceases roughly halfway down her forearm. So
So-
hand and like half her
Still
forearm.
got my elbow.
okay?
So you've still got your elbow, and
Yeah.
you've got like half your forearm, and then he's drawn a line sort of like 2.5 inches higher
Okay.
than that, where they might amputate if they need to.
Cool.
Okay.
I stop you.
Okay.
I kind of like gently hold you down
I'm not going to resist too much.
and say, I think someone should go get the physician.
I'll be okay soon. I'll just need to rest a little.
I will at least notify him that she's awake.
Bianca,
I'll
Can
step
you-
out.
can you hear me? Why did you do it?
Do what?
You pushed me out of the way.
To protect you. It's what I do.
But-
So I'm hired for you guys, I think. That's what Alvin said. Don't know if I'm doing a good job. I'm in a lot of pain.
Bianca, I don't know what to do.
What do you mean?
I can't pay back what you've given.
I didn't give anything.
I take your hand, your other hand.
And then I wave it at you.
And what the?
We've been carrying it in the pack the whole time.
And I squeeze it really tightly. And I say,
I let you.
Don't stop.
and I say, this is hard, but I have to be the one to tell you. Your hand, your other hand, it is gone.
I'm going to try and feel for it.
You may.
You're tied down. You can't move.
No,
right?
he said I could slip out.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
slip out the
I
arm
slipped
that
out my
has
free arm.
less hand. No, you slipped
I
out the
slipped out
hand
the
that has
other
less arm
arm.
to
Less
stay in.
resistance.
Yeah. It's basically because you imagine
There's
it's
no
sort of
wrist
around your
attached or
belly
anything.
button, and yeah, you're trying to get your wrist out, but this one just comes out easier.
But I
for
feel like
some
that would
reason.
hurt a lot.
Oh, it hurts, but she's in so much pain it barely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to stare at it blankly.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? The machine?
Yes. Yes. But
My father's going to kill me.
don't even think about any of that right now. Just try to relax.
You're terrible marriage material. No, that's
Maybe it's
a
a good
win.
thing.
That's
Maybe
a
it's a good
win for
thing.
Bianca.
She hasn't gotten to that point yet, okay?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I
She's
just
like,
realized
"My dad's
that it's
gonna
like
be so
awful, but
mad."
if there's a silver lining, it's like you ain't getting married off now.
unmarriable.
Yeah, ladies in my court have both their arms.
How else do you hold a teacup?
Do the dish.
Oh my goodness.
We just need to focus on getting some rest for now.
That sounds good.
But Bianca,
Mm.
I am sorry.
I'm sorry too. I'm not a good person, Leonie.
What are you talking
I
about?
kind of like drew back a little bit.
I let you sleep.
Okay. Yeah. Let her rest then.
Arvin finds the physician. You find where you think the physician is as you head towards, you just kind of look around, you can't find him, and you walk into the next wing adjacent to yours, walking down the corridor, and there is a corner of the room that is fully curtained off. There's black, heavy drapes hanging in it, and the same. Oh, pardon me. The demon's coming out of me. And the very same.
I knew they were in there.
The maid at the entrance is the portly woman sort of standing there, and as you approach, she puts her hand up and says, "You cannot come here."
I'm seeking the physician. The cavalier has woken up.
Well, wait. And then you hear a momentary,
I heard.
and then there's a from the other side of the curtains. And then a little of like a metal tool hitting a tray. And then the physician sweeps, make an acuity check, challenge level 4. He sweeps past this curtain sort of discreetly and comes out of this black area of the
Dentists,
hall.
am I right?
Just pull their teeth out, it'll fix them.
Have you ever had a teeth pulled out? Like a wobbly tooth?
I've had the teeth
Sounds
extracted, yeah.
No, like
sorry.
without the numbing.
Just acuity?
And reflexes, yeah.
Yep. 2.
You don't catch a glimpse of what's inside. And he steps out, gestures, proffers a fresh rolled cigarette, classic style, towards the maid, who lights it upon her little, she's got like the little silverware candle holder and just lights it for him, and he drags on it.
You say she's awake?
Yes. Well, at least momentarily. She may still be awake, but yes, she has awoken.
That is a good sign. Let me know if she becomes possessed of something, or her humors fall wildly out of balance. I have many patients. I will check on her shortly.
Very well. I'll keep you notified.
I'm possessed with a vengeance to kill Diego. Does that count?
And hours whittle by. One thing that you do note, there are very sick people in here, and many of them, is in that courtyard. You see in a rudimentary, basically a rudimentary wheelchair, like literally it's a wheelchair, but it's like wooden spoked wheels, and it's just very simple for carting people around this facility. It's certainly not something that could be self-mobile. It's not that. It's you have to push the chair around. It's pretty heavy too. There's a young girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old, very thin, frail frame, just sitting out in the courtyard that gets wheeled out there, just like limp, leaning against the back of the chair, looking out. Then later on in the day, a dark-haired woman enters, and she carries with her a basket. She's got the smell of like fresh baked apple pie enters the room as this woman with this dark, like big bushy dark curly hair walks through with this air of just like someone trying to bring joy with them. And she goes in, and you see her in the courtyard, and she spends about an hour with this girl and hands her a bit of pie that she tries to feed her, and sings songs and plays games, and then solemnly stands up, and you can see as she walks away that there's sadness there as she leaves again.
In the woman or the
woman. The girl is happy, a bit sad when she goes, but very ill. And the day wanes on, continues.
think Bianca wakes at some point, just like waking and rising. I don't know who would be there, but she definitely, like, at some point, eyes flies open, and she goes, "My hat. Is my hat here?"
Yes, yeah, like it's sort of sitting next to her, lean over to
Can I be wearing it?
table or something.
No, joke.
I'm magic.
It'll be somewhere within reach. We'll have kept it
it's
near
on
Bianca.
the table next to you or something.
Or hanging above
We would have
your-
put it there, yeah.
Yeah.
I go, can I have my hat?
I sort of rested on your head.
Amazing. Yeah, no, I go back to sleep. I'm comfortable with it.
So, the group of you may take a recuperate action.
Ooh.
Huzzah.
What does that mean? I get to remove dying?
You will if you complete it uninterrupted.
Okay. I'll do my best. Do I have to specify what recuperate action that is?
Just recover from dying.
Okay.
Would you like to take
You
a
would become
recuperate
injured,
action?
right?
Yeah, you would be
Yes.
injured at the end of it.
Okay. Assuming I do it.
What are Leone and Arvin going to do for this recuperate action?
Leone, once she knows that Bianca's like someone's sort of taking care of her and everyone's like in a state of consciousness at least, she'd go outside and probably go have a good cry. Probably punch the wall a few times and get really angry and just wail a lot, but privately. And then she would probably ask one of the nurses if there's a spare bed where she doesn't need, like, can't bother anyone and have a rest if she can.
Right. I imagine we probably also by now organised an inn where everyone else is staying, like a Libero and Celeste.
Yeah, they've already organised one. So she basically says that you can't stay.
Oh, on the
that
shoot.
you need to
Sure.
go back to the inn.
Yeah,
once
so
it's
yeah, it's
bedtime.
probably a
Sure.
bit.
Do a
I'll let you
Lorenzo and whack your hand a few times.
Yeah, I'll just
Oven,
crack my head open.
before you go, and I like shift through the bag beside the bed and hand over 1 burden's worth of scrap loot and a quarter of a burden item, which is a valuable gemstone.
Okay, can we presume that we have... Well, the issue is that I'm currently still holding loot as
Everything.
well, so I cannot take it.
I give it to Bianca.
Me?
You're
Thanks.
Bianca. Sorry.
To
I give it to
Yeah.
Leone. I'm basically
Get
giving
better
it to
soon.
I
the
can
group.
I can get it to our
Yeah.
cart or
Yeah.
whatever, basically.
I'm sorry, what, a scrap loot.
1 burden of scrap loot, and it's a quarter burden, but it's just a valuable gemstone.
And I've got 1 scrap loot as well.
Yeah.
Who's got the
and
valuable
You
loot?
have 2 valuable loot. I gave you 2 valuable loot. You were writing it down.
He did tell you to write down.
Yeah,
All
I
he
have-
wrote is loot.
I have 1 loot.
One.
Oh my god! Oh my god! This is why I'm the loot guy.
This is where money
I
goes.
can't carry more
This
than
is where
1.
money goes.
I said it was full.
No, this wouldn't have. No,
Hold on.
we're not.
Yeah, no, Dave only gave us 2.
I gave
took
you
one and I
2
took one.
valuable loot,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
and you couldn't carry it because you had to carry Bianca.
Yeah.
So he gave it to Arvin.
Did Leone have space?
Burden.
Well, I've
Carry
got
things.
the Arbalast.
That's your backpack
Yeah,
slot.
yeah. And then I've got nothing else.
So you have plenty of space
can
to carry
carry
stuff.
heaps.
So you have 2 valuable loot.
Yeah, oh, okay, sure. Well, last time it was agreed that you had it.
It was worried.
I don't have it.
So now it's...
Dear, we could
have one.
play it back.
Oh my
Sorry.
gosh.
Sorry.
As the party argues over Bianca's
No,
near dead body over who's got the money.
It's 3. It's 3? 3 then?
2
Yes.
total. 2 total.
But you gave me 1.
valuable
characters.
loot.
2 valuable loot.
I gave you 1 scrap loot.
Yes, okay.
And
She lost her hand. It better be worth
And a gem.
that's it. That's exactly it. And a valuable gemstone.
Yeah, got that. All right.
So,
we're good.
and basically, I'm just sort of like, hopefully this covers our bills. And if there's any more than this and the cost of our stay in this town, we should better fortify ourselves to deal with challenging situations.
Very well, I will see about selling it and getting coin for it.
On the morning of the day after you first get admitted, when Arvin goes for a visit, I'm just adding this for a bit of flair. The physician, whose name by now you have gotten, that I apparently haven't, Persero, the physician Persero Amorosi. He speaks specifically to Arvin, and he pulls him aside and he says,
His lordship Count Telemachus wishes to see you upon the recovery of your companions.
Certainly, the whole group.
Well,
Or you like specifically me?
the Cavalier and you and anyone at your discretion. You're clearly the most learned among them, so
Oh, okay.
I pass this to you.
I'll make sure the closest companions are there.
Be grateful to him. In his infinite generosity, my patron has offered to pay for the full services for the Cavalier.
Sir, wow. I was not expecting that at all. That is so incredibly generous and fortuitous for us.
The Count is eccentric, but he is a fine believer in looking after those who look after LUCEVERA.
I shall make doubly sure to show our gratitude.
Good.
No one can diss Cavaliers ever again.
Now, you are not injured.
No, I am not.
What would you do while your friend recovers?
I need to see about the town for a few things, including our own supplies. Otherwise, I'm not going to lie. I was considering looking around your clinic at basically the patients here and what had happened to them. Perhaps learn some of their life stories. Basically, better myself and perhaps learn what has befallen them and prevent future things.
Well, it is rare that I get a deft hand to aid me, and we have had many patients recently. Should you wish to work while you're here, I have a spot for you.
Well, honestly, directly under you would be the best way of learning, which is what I intended to do, so I will graciously take you up on that offer.
You can use the seek employment rest action working for the duration of this recover action, working at this hospice.
Okay.
Nice.
And you receive the high pay of a physician. So that is, you roll dice equal to a skill check that makes sense, and you get your tier multiplied by 5 silver pieces.
All right. Let's see. Knowledge is already something that I already have.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps investigation or deft to say?
Investigation's
Yep.
good.
Investigation.
This is for the whole duration of the time that it takes for Bianca to recover.
Cool.
Oh,
2. But I am going to use my Fast Thinker perk, which has reset on the day, to increase the skill check, yes?
Would let you
Reroll.
reroll
Would you allow
one.
that?
It says reroll.
I think it's a bit weird because it's like a daily reroll, but then it's a rest action.
If it doesn't apply to this role, then that's fine and fair. I just don't know if there's that definition.
He did burn the midnight oil, so it's been more than a day.
It's not about that. It's more that the actual feat is like you get a daily reroll, but this is
Yeah.
like a specific
Yeah,
rest
it's
action
not
roll
an
that
ability
encompasses like 7
check.
days or 3 or
Yeah.
4 or 5
yeah,
days
but
of.
it was, if you're not including like those 7 days,
Yeah.
he still has had a day since he last used it, I think, in game.
I'm not worried about him having
the
the
check he
thing
has
or
to
not.
make.
It's just whether or not it should be usable for this.
Whether
Because
it's usable for a long
specifically
rest
like,
action.
is that usable for long
Because
rest
then it means
actions?
it's
Right.
always usable to up your income for that
That's
thing
true.
for someone with that feat.
Yeah, which kind of
basically.
makes it potentially like an unexpected use case for it. Because then as soon as the rest action finishes, you automatically get it back.
What if you had to have it free before?
But it wouldn't matter because then
No,
you
no,
automatically get it back.
I would think
Yeah.
it's an
I
unbalancing.
think I think it doesn't apply.
2 successes.
What did I say? It was times 5. It might be times 10, but I'll check.
times
you
your
make-
tier.
Yeah, times your tier, but it's 5 or 10 per success times your tier. It is 5 times your number of successes in currency
So 10.
per tier. So your tier 3,
Yep. So 30.
30 silver.
Cool.
And also, it is late in the session, so I think what we'll do, because I have a bunch of roleplay stuff. I have a bunch of narrative stuff to do at this hospice. There's people to meet. There's things to see and do. Do we want to do any of that like party maintenance now at the end of this session so we can leap into it next session and just have that done? Because I know you want to sell some stuff.
I think a little bit of that would be good too.
The maintenance stuff or the...
Oh, maintenance is what I was thinking.
Either.
Yeah, I'm sort of suggesting that it's 10:35. So I'm sort of like, do we want to just do that now so that next week we can just we don't have to worry about selling loot?
Yeah.
Doing all that.
How many days, sorry? It was 3 days, did you say, that we're spending?
No.
Oh.
What would you like to do for the time?
I want to spend 1 day. I was going to ask if Lorenzo wants to come with me to the market to sell the scrap loot.
Cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
What action are you going to take?
Sell loot?
That doesn't take an action.
No. So you can look for work, or you can...
You can look for work, or you can do a narrative action. There's only really look for work at this stage. Or you can do a narrative action if you would like to spend your characters spend their time doing something different, and we can
training with something, or
or
repairing
ruminating,
something.
crying in your room.
Can I... I'll do the narrative one. Can I spend the time reassuring our crew? So, as in the NPCs, telling everyone that Bianca's okay, spending a little bit of time with everyone, getting to know them a little better, and making them feel a bit more comfortable.
A empathy charisma check.
Sick.
Two successes. Not bad. Over the course of the week,
Okay, cool, great.
you have 7 days that you spend in hospice just for Bianca to go from dying to injured.
Yay.
You basically bring everyone together. You don't do the world's best job. Leone isn't the most personal person. She's a bit of a chaos gremlin, and you're clearly carrying a bunch of guilt about what you've done. But it takes a few days, but by like day 4 and 5, you manage to get even that moment where Ilio comes in and sees Bianca and like comes to terms with what's happened. And you do build that over the course. It's not a rock steady ground, but by the end of that period, everyone's sort of like at least containing their emotions about the fact that one of you's been horribly injured, and they're willing to go forward together.
Yeah, I think Leone would also want to talk to Libero and try to find a bit of peace inside of herself for what she feels like she's responsible for.
And Libero will absolutely be like,
it is not your fault. From what I've been told, you were the one who went down and risked your life to save her. If you hadn't, she would have died. Remember that. It was...
Because this is through the week, so I'm just going to assume some conversations on everyone's part, if that's okay. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So she sort of said, he says like,
as she tells it, it was your torchlight that she saw that drew her away from the machine. And without it, she wouldn't be here.
Okay.
now you want to sell some stuff.
Yes, please.
Now you have two options. Option 1, sell it.
Did you
Option
want to
2,
come with me?
I'm still
want to? No, you still-
I'm
okay.
recovering from injury. That's my action.
Cool.
So I
I'll
won't be
do it
from
on
For the week.
I'm also adamant to stay. If someone is going to stay by Bianca's side, it's me.
Okay.
So
yeah. So it takes, with that bludgeon, because you were beaten up by a giant robot, and how much health did you end up on?
I was injured, but with 8 health. So I was injured.
You recover by about 4 days into the thing, and then you'll be fully restored by the time Bianca just comes off injured.
Well, I was going to say, like, the way that Lorenzo is spending his time is drawing.
Cool.
So he's using his new pen, but the thing he's like drawn to draw are the people in this place. There's something about them, and I guess obviously inspired by where his feather comes from. He's drawing people, and the pieces of them that are broken or sick, he's like filling with like flowers and beautiful, like just nature and growth and color, and sort of like contrasting that with it's like his way of like his self-therapy almost of like
Healing.
yeah, like Yeah, I think so. Like, just sending good vibes or whatever. And he's got a very clear view, obviously, of Bianca. So there would be several portraits there of her sleeping with
Just reckless abandon. You don't care about how people feel about this creative art in this place.
Oh, he's probably a little secretive about it.
Yeah.
He's probably got like a few like methodical looking technical sketches he can just flip to when someone passes by. Like he's still being, surreptitious about
See,
it.
I'm glad you told me that because we can work with that. So when we come to next week, we will there'll be a little bit time. We'll go back and we'll cover this week. And we can visit some moments that happen with that. But the selling and buying of goods, let's get that out of the
Knock it
way.
out.
You have two choices. You can sell the items for their value, or you can attempt to barter.
Can I ask what the value is before I barter, or do I not get to
It's
know?
in the rule book.
It's in the. What?
So 2 valuable loot
Uh-huh.
is combined 1,000 silver pieces.
Woo-wee.
In the scrap.
Scrap loot, I think, is like 30 or 60.
And if you barter, there's a chance that it doesn't
Scrap
get
is
sold
30
or that
each.
you sell it for
60.
lower.
So if you barter, you make a roll. As soon as you choose to barter, you are bound by the outcome of the roll. Basically, you've already embarked in the sales process. You have decided you're selling the goods. And basically, if
Take
you
what you
perform
get.
very poorly, there is just not a market for it, and you sell it at a lower price than the book, because the book represents like average market value. But if you go to a farm town and try and sell them grain, you might get a lower price than you would in a mining town.
Sure.
So it just represents that. But you still need to offload the goods. So
Do I get to know what the role is?
it'll usually be like a charm check or
Authority.
deception. It'll be a charisma
You
based
can
check.
choose.
You will sell this to me for 5,000 coins.
I'm not going to do it because
Yep.
statistically, I'm going to roll awfully. So
Cool.
I'm not going to
So-
risk
And she doesn't need another kick in the gut
So
right now.
being a large city, these artifacts, trinkets, and strange objects from a previous civilization that are in very good condition is extremely rare. And you manage to sell them for their going price. It takes you a couple of days of basically you get. So what did you have? 1 scrap and 2 valuable?
That is correct.
You sell for 1,030 silver.
Okay, so what's that divided by 4?
Can't be divided by 4. 1,000 can be. It's 250 each and then 30 on top.
I'm going to give everyone 250 and I'm going to spend the 30.
So that means, hold on, you're giving everyone 250?
Yes.
Which means
So
you and Jazza both pay 125 off your debt and receive 125.
Are
This
we
is silver, right?
meant to
Yeah.
be sharing the money with the NPCs?
No.
Celeste and
The party.
Laverne?
They've got their, that's fine. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, they didn't risk their lives.
True, they didn't lose
This
their
is
arm.
dungeon loot. They did lose their arm, yeah. This is arm reparations money.
250, did you say?
250 for you two, yeah. For
Oh, yes,
Arvin.
close.
Arvin and Bianca have
Oh,
250. Leone and Lorenzo receive 250, and then 125 of that goes onto their debt, which is their disabling feature they got at the start of the game.
I might be physically broke, but I sure am rich.
I don't spend, I keep the gem for now,
Yep.
but I'll give it back to you.
And what are you doing with the 30?
With the 30, I want to go into the florist.
Okay, so you're keeping it, which means it's 15, and you put 15 on your debt.
I'm going to spend it straight away.
You get 15 on your debt.
What if she's
Okay.
spending it on behalf of the
can't.
party?
That's
you
fine.
can't
I
do
just
it
wanted to
specifically.
double
Yeah.
check.
It's just the wording of the fee.
I
All
guess.
money she makes is halved.
I guess.
Okay, fine. I go into the florist or florist, yep, and I buy either as much as I possibly can or the biggest bouquet that I can
With 15 silver.
with 15 silver.
That's a lot.
You buy them out.
See, yeah, that's
The
what I want.
entire
Thank you. I was like, I wasn't sure if it was just under.
totally would.
The
I'll get
entire.
the card and like bring
They
everything back.
deliver it to the hospice or
Yeah.
specifically to
Hospice,
Bianca.
Hospice.
You'll have probably seen a few people through the week
That's my question actually.
Yeah.
Have I seen any of the
like the girl in the wheelchair
yes.
and
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I donate to the hospice then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll role play that next week.
Yes.
Yay!
But that's why it's good to deal with the BS of it.
I love
next
that.
week.
I love that. Okay. Well, that gives it's cool because it gives you meat to sort of like tuck into.
Yep.
So-
Except your
right.
art one is going to.
Dave's
Oh,
excited.
cool. Well, that was fun. Thank you for joining us.
So fun.
Who'd have thought we'd end on a lighter note after from last week?
We might have to. I mean, depends how long we stay here. But I like the physician. He's cool. That's my vote.
I agree.
Did you
I
face
described him as a
acid?
sultry smoking physician.
He reminds me of your Pokemon, like DMPC with the coat.
Oh, that guy that was like a gumshoe detective.
Yeah. That's what I kept thinking of. Yeah. He comes in, he's like, hey.
I kind of figured this guy would be a bit older. Like he's probably like 50.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool. That was fun.
Yay.
We say thank you to our patrons.
Thank you, patrons.
Patrons, you kept me alive
Yeah.
with your support.
Yes.
You're keeping all of us alive. Tabletop time roleplay alive.
Thank you for your support. And thank you to those watching our live stream on Twitch
Love you all.
right now. We'll go say hi to them and then we're going to do our patron after party. We should just say bye to them. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.